Ladies and gentlemen, every single one of us holds in our mind the power to shape our destiny. The truth is simple. You can have anything you desire in life, if only you decide what it is, believe you can achieve it, and refuse to quit until it's yours. Most people drift aimlessly, waiting for life to hand them scraps, while a small few take control, set a clear course, and bend the world to their will. The difference between the two is not luck, it is choice. And today, you will discover how to make that choice and unlock the limitless power within you. Certainly, here. How to get anything you desire in life is not a mystery, nor is it a privilege reserved only for a select few. It is a process, a set of timeless principles that have worked for those who understood them and applied them with persistence and faith. Life itself, in all its vastness and abundance, bends to the will of the individual who knows exactly what he wants, believes it is possible, and takes consistent action toward it. Most people drift through life like a ship without a rudder, moving wherever the winds and currents take them, never realizing they had the power to choose their own course all along. But for the man or woman who sets a destination, who writes it clearly in their mind and refuses to let go of it, life becomes astonishingly obedient. The first truth is this: you must decide exactly what you desire. Desire is the starting point of all achievement, but it must not be vague or half-formed. It must be definite, precise, and clear. You cannot ask life to reward you with wealth, success, or happiness in some general, undefined sense. That is like walking into a restaurant and telling the waiter you want some food. What will you receive? Perhaps something, perhaps nothing, but it will almost certainly not satisfy you. Yet this is exactly how most people live their lives. They want a bigger job, more money, greater happiness. But they never stop to define what those words mean, nor do they take the time to carve a specific picture in their minds of the life they truly want. The mind, like fertile soil, will grow whatever seed is planted in it. If you plant confusion and indecision, it will return more of the same. If you plant a definite desire, nourished with belief and persistence, it will move heaven and earth to bring it into form. When you decide exactly what you want, write it down. Think about it every day. Speak of it as if it were already yours, and act in harmony with it. You unleash forces greater than yourself. You begin to attract ideas, opportunities, and people that will help you move steadily toward your desire. The second truth is belief. Desire alone is not enough. If you do not believe it is possible for you, you will sabotage yourself before you ever begin. Belief is the fuel that transforms a thought into reality. The moment you accept an idea as true, your subconscious mind begins working to make it real. If you believe you cannot achieve something, your mind will find evidence to prove you right. If you believe you can, it will find evidence to prove you right as well. You will discover resources within yourself you never realized you had, simply because you now expect to succeed. The world is full of stories of ordinary people who accomplished extraordinary things simply because they refused to believe it was impossible. The third truth is action. You cannot sit still thinking positive thoughts and expect the world to deliver your desires to your door. You must act, but you must act in faith, with persistence, and with the quiet assurance that each step you take brings you closer to your goal. Action is the bridge between the invisible world of thought and the visible world of results. When you take action, even if you do not yet see the whole path ahead, you set in motion a chain of events that begin to align with your desire. Opportunities that never existed before suddenly appear, and doors that once seemed closed swing open. And here is a great truth. You need not know the entire road before you begin. You need only know the next step. Life has a way of revealing the path as you walk it, but it will never reveal it to the person who waits idly at the starting line. The road is made by walking, and every step forward reveals the next. Too many people wait for certainty before they begin, never realizing that certainty is the reward of those who take action despite uncertainty. The fourth truth is persistence. Nothing great is accomplished without it. There will be obstacles, there will be setbacks, and there will be moments of doubt. But the one who holds firm, who keeps his vision in mind, and continues to move forward no matter what, is the one who ultimately gets what he desires. Most people fail not because the goal was impossible, but because they quit too soon. They allowed temporary setbacks to convince them that permanent failure had arrived. Yet the history of progress is filled with men and women who were told they would never succeed, who faced rejection, criticism, and even ridicule, but who pressed on until the world had no choice but to acknowledge their triumph. Now let us understand something deeper. Life will always give you exactly what you ask for, and no more. If you ask little of it, you will receive little. If you ask much and are willing to pay the price in effort, persistence, and faith, life will reward you in kind. This universe is abundant beyond measure. There is no shortage of wealth, no shortage of opportunity, no shortage of success. The only shortage is in the minds of those who have convinced themselves they cannot have it. Those who understand the laws of mind know that the only limits are the ones we place upon ourselves. Another great principle is service. To receive what you desire, you must give in return. Life operates on the principle of sowing and reaping. If you want wealth, you must create value. If you want respect, you must give respect. If you want love, you must give love. The selfish man who seeks to take without giving always finds his rewards to be small and temporary. But the man who dedicates himself to serving others, to making their lives better in some way, inevitably finds that his own life is blessed in return. The more you give, the more you receive, provided you give with sincerity and excellence. There is another factor often overlooked: gratitude. Gratitude transforms desire into magnetism. When you are grateful for what you already have, you place yourself in harmony with abundance, and abundance flows more easily to you. A person who complains, who focuses only on what is lacking, will attract more lack. But a person who begins each day with gratitude, who notices the good in every situation, will find that life continually gives him more to be grateful for. Gratitude turns obstacles into opportunities, setbacks into lessons, and challenges into stepping stones. Lastly, you must guard your mind. Your mind is the most powerful instrument you will ever possess, and it will create whatever you allow it to dwell upon. If you allow fear, doubt, and negativity to dominate, your life will reflect it. But if you discipline your mind to dwell on your vision, your desire, and the belief in its certainty, your life will reflect that instead. Guard your thoughts as carefully as a jeweler guards his most precious stones. Refuse to entertain any idea that contradicts the reality you wish to create. Surround yourself with those who encourage and uplift you, and avoid those who discourage and belittle your dreams. The truth is simple. You become what you think about, you attract what you believe in, you achieve what you act upon, and you obtain what you persist in pursuing. Desire, belief, action, persistence, service, gratitude, and disciplined thought, these are the principles by which any man or woman can obtain anything they truly desire in life. Certainly. Here's the continuation, expanded by another 1,000 words, picking up exactly where the first part ended and maintaining the same tone and flow. When you begin to truly understand that your mind is the architect of your destiny, you will start treating every thought as if it were a brick laid in the foundation of the life you are building. Each day, with every thought, you are either constructing a palace of achievement or erecting a prison of limitation. The power lies not in some external force, not in circumstances, not in luck, but in the quiet, persistent flow of ideas that occupy your mind. If you accept that truth, you hold in your hands the greatest key a human being could ever possess. Consider for a moment the farmer. He plants seeds in his soil, tends to them with patience, waters them, protects them from weeds, and trusts in the unseen processes of nature to bring forth the harvest. He does not dig up the ground every day to check if the seeds are growing. He does not panic because nothing appears immediately. He has faith in the law of growth. Your desires operate under the same law. Once planted firmly in your mind, once tended daily with belief and persistence, they will begin to grow silently and invisibly. And in time, if you do not abandon them, they will manifest in your life as surely as the farmer's crops appear in his fields. But here is the challenge. Most people abandon their seeds long before the harvest arrives. They grow impatient. They doubt the process. They listen to the voices of others who tell them it cannot be done. They let weeds of fear and discouragement choke their dreams. And then they conclude that success is reserved for the fortunate few. The truth is, success is reserved for the disciplined few, the ones who treat their minds like gardens, carefully choosing what to plant, diligently removing the weeds, and patiently waiting for the harvest. Let us look at another principle, imagination. Imagination is not mere daydreaming. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Everything that exists in the world today, from the tallest skyscraper to the smallest invention, began as an idea in someone's imagination. The human mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you consistently imagine your desire as if it were already accomplished, you are rehearsing it into existence. You are training your mind and your body to expect it, to accept it, and to recognize opportunities related to it. Think of a sculptor with a block of marble. He does not see only the rough stone. In his imagination, he already sees the figure hidden within. His task is simply to chip away the excess until the form is revealed. In the same way, your imagination reveals to you the life you are capable of living, and your daily actions are the chisel that shapes reality into alignment with that vision. Now, there will be moments when your imagination is challenged by reality. Perhaps your finances do not yet reflect your vision. Perhaps the circumstances around you seem to contradict it. But that is precisely when imagination must be held even more firmly. For imagination is not a denial of reality. It is the blueprint of a higher reality you are building. The world you see around you today is the result of yesterday's thoughts. The world you will see tomorrow will be the result of the thoughts you hold today. Another vital aspect of OB. Attaining what you desire is discipline. Discipline is the ability to hold yourself to a course of action long after the excitement of beginning has faded. It is easy to set goals when motivation is high. It is easy to dream big when everything feels possible. But discipline is what carries you through the dull days, the hard days, and the days when progress seems invisible. It is the quiet power that builds habits, and habits are the machinery of destiny. A single act of discipline may seem small in the moment, but repeated daily, it creates momentum that becomes unstoppable. Remember this: success is nothing more than the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. Greatness is not achieved in one sweeping act, but in the steady accumulation of disciplined choices. Just as a mountain is climbed step by step, so too is every desire reached through consistent daily action. Those who neglect discipline wait for inspiration, and inspiration rarely visits those who wait idly. But those who practice discipline discover that inspiration comes more often to those already at work. Let us also consider the role of courage. Every great achievement demands it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act despite fear. Fear will whisper that you are not ready, that you are not capable, that you should wait for a better time. But fear is a liar, and the one who listens to it forfeits the life he could have lived. Each time you act in spite of fear, you weaken its grip. Each time you confront a challenge head-on, you build the strength to confront even greater ones. Think of the countless individuals who never dared to pursue what they truly desired because they were afraid of failure, afraid of criticism, afraid of leaving the comfort of the familiar. Their dreams died quietly, not because they were impossible, but because they were never attempted. Yet every person who has ever accomplished anything worthwhile did so in the presence of fear. They felt it, acknowledged it, and had acted anyway. Courage is the bridge between desire and accomplishment. Now, some may wonder, what if my desire is too great? What if it seems beyond my reach? The truth is, no desire placed deeply in the human heart is too great, provided you are willing to grow into the kind of person who can achieve it. You may not yet be that person today, but the pursuit itself will shape you. The very act of striving toward a worthy ideal transforms you into someone capable of realizing it. Do not shrink your desires to match your current abilities. Expand your abilities to match your desires. Growth is the hidden reward of the pursuit. While you may obtain the thing you desire, the greater prize is the person you become in the process. The wealth, the success, the recognition, these are results, but the real treasure is the strength, the character, the wisdom, and the resilience you gain along the journey. That is something no one can ever take from you. And this brings us to patience. In a world that seeks instant gratification, patience is a forgotten virtue. Yet everything worthwhile requires time. A seed takes time to grow into a tree. A child takes time to grow into an adult. And a dream takes time to grow into reality. Impatience is the downfall of many, for it causes them to quit just before the finish line. But patience, combined with persistence, ensures that you will continue moving forward regardless of how long it takes. Remember, the time will pass anyway. Why not spend it building the life you desire? Finally, let us turn to the idea of faith in the unseen order of life. There is a rhythm, a harmony, a law that governs all things. When you align your mind with that law, when you hold your desires clearly, believe deeply, act consistently, serve generously, persist faithfully, and give thanks continually, you place yourself in harmony with the force far greater than why. Ourself. That force opens doors you could not have forced open by effort alone. It brings